Alright everybody, we're back, and in this video I'm going to be making a run for an airdrop, and then maybe do a little hunting on the side while I wait for that, because I still got about 2 in-game hours till that sucker drops. Hopefully it won't drop in a crappy spot. That is kind of a problem. Oh, you know what I can do? I can make a better bow. Maybe find some rocks too. But first let me make a not a simple bandage. Oh, wait a second. You know, I am forgetting something. Got a rock, got that. Oh, okay. Had a brain fart, I was thinking didn't need anything else. Stone axe. There's a bear somewhere. It's funny, you could hear those bears quite a ways off. You know, there's quite a few guns I would love to see in this game if they actually expanded the arsenal. The problem with doing that, though, is that since you are putting guns together, you can't really be packing that many guns. You know, if they had just like 50 guns, could you imagine the parts involved with that? The only way they could do it is removing the piecing guns together part, or if they made, you know, certain parts interchangeable, and then you had to find maybe the barrel. Oh, there's that bastard. I think there's another one over there. Anyway, but it would be cool to see, like, since they have bears, they do have a 230, 208, 215, 240. They do have a cool lever action gun called the guide gun, and it's made by Marlin. And I do believe it holds 3 rounds in the tube and one in the chamber. So it doesn't sound like it holds a lot, but what it does shoot is a 45-70 government. What is a 45 caliber bullet, which is longer than a regular 45 caliber bullet, so you have more weight to the bullet. And then it's a very long cartridge. It was used back in Western times, quite heavily. You know, it was used in the Sharps rifle, I believe, for buffalo hunting. So anyway, it's a very large cartridge, and also they updated it. The neck of it, or the casing, actually has an old style rim where it's where the rim actually protrudes. A lot of these newer ones are made for auto loading, like as you see here, the bullet has a recess right there. While in those old styles, that recess isn't there. It's not smooth, it actually sticks out. Makes it kind of weird for certain applications, especially, you know, you're not gonna really readily make a semi-automatic out of it. But they also did make the original Gatling gun use it. And then so this lever action uses that rifle, and also it used to use black powder, and now they upgraded to smokeless powder, and the lever action can... Oh, there's a deer. Oh! And the lever action can handle the pressures of the the smokeless powder, which a lot of people don't know that it's actually way more powerful. That's one of the things that they found out, is that once they discovered smokeless powder, that it not only made it so that you didn't have huge clouds of smoke, but it vastly increased the energy contained. So instead of like a slow burn, I mean, you know, relative, black powder is a slower burning rather than the energy from smokeless powder. So that increased range, accuracy, velocity, all that. So they have this 45-70 government lever action, and they call it the guide gun because it's for heavy, big game. You know, you can rapidly fire it since it is a lever action. So you could, you know, it does recoil quite a bit too, though, because you're going to be using solid bullets, not hollow tips, for larger game. And in a way, it's kind of like a elephant gun. Maybe not as powerful though. But oh, I better not screw around with that gun and get ready for this. But it is a very cool gun. I actually always wanted one. You know, they do make them stainless steel. You can get synthetic stocks. Typically they come with wood. Oh, we dropped it kind of close. That way it's a kind of an all-weather gun, and you know, definitely has sporting purposes. If you were to go hunting, you could equip it with a, you know, like a lower power scope. And that's one thing I always wanted. I don't know if I mentioned this in other videos. Is it'd be cool if they added sights to this game. You know, I would love to have a red dot sight for, you know, submachine gun. You know, different reticles for the scope, or even different, you know, or for the scope for the hunting rifle. or even different scopes. You know, powers adjustable rather than what it is right now. Oh yeah, the hunting rifle, and then say the 9mm, maybe just different sights, but also it would be cool to have a red dot on there too. But as you see, it would be nice to have options, because some of the sights are kind of shitty. I'm not a huge fan of, like, say, the submachine gun sights. I mean, it's feasible, it works. It's, but not very practical for certain situations. You know, fast shooting. Ooh, jeez, a little chunk of leg, probably loading. But, what was I saying now? Anyway, that would be a cool gun. I always like lever actions. I actually owned one back in when I was home. And dang, didn't get much. I know that's trash. I owned a 357 Magnum lever action, also by Marlin. You know, it was not stainless steel. Kind of bummed about that. I spent a little extra for that, but it was a 357 Magnum lever action, so it had, I believe, an 18-inch barrel. I think that's about as short as you could get for certain types of guns before it becomes illegal. But since it's shooting a pistol round, but with a longer barrel, you get higher velocity because the powder has longer to burn inside the barrel. So I got better ballistics from the bullets themselves, and I was able to hold 10 total, 9 in the tube, 1 in the chamber for it. So you're able to shoot quite a bit with it. It's pretty surprising. And they're very fun to shoot. That gun had barely any recoil at all. But then, since you had to use hollow points, because if you didn't, it could create a chain reaction in the tube. You know, the primer being butted up against another bullet. So with hollow points, it negates that. Anyway, so I shoot it at certain things, you know, just plinking around. Bullets were a little expensive, especially these days. But just farting around with that gun, it would blow things apart just because of higher velocity and then the hollow points themselves. Like I shot a dead salmon kind of at an angle, and it stripped the entire side of the salmon like it was cleaned by a knife. Like, you know, it ripped the whole side of the salmon apart, or well, off the fish. Like it was almost clean. You know how it did it. Oh, really? Little bastard. I'm gonna finish this out with a bow. Oh, what? There we go. But yeah, that was a very cool gun. Yeah, I did give it away to a friend. I'm cool like that. Close friends, you know. I also give away knives. One thing that people don't realize is how useful a knife is until somebody they know starts carrying one and they're always asking for it. So, oh, you little bastard. I always like to have a really good knife because it's a tool. Everybody, you know, there's a stigma about knives that people have where, oh, really? I guess I should have ducked. The front flip almost. That if you carry a knife, you're like some kind of thug or something. Well, that's not the case. Where I come from, everybody carries a knife, so absolutely no reason not to carry one. Because, you know, there's always something to open, or, you know, it's just, actually, it's the most useful tool. If I was to have to go out in the wilderness, and I could only take one thing, it'd be a knife. Some people would be like, well, I'd take a lighter. Well, yeah, good luck using a lighter for anything but starting a fire. Now, if you could start a fire, it'd be a lot easier. If you know how to start a fire, using a knife makes it much easier. So, overall, I mean, I highly recommend carrying some form of knife, you know, and I usually pay about $100. So the last one I paid, 70. 70 was, I got a pretty good knife for $70, but a lot of times I'll pay about 100. I usually purchase a real nice knife, good steel, great one-hand opening, real smooth action, and then also one-hand closing, typically with a liner lock. It gives you the ability to close those one hand easily. It's a way of holding the blade open, and then you just push it to the side, and that will close, or will unlock the knife. Now, it's a very strong way of locking the knife, and instead of like the old time way of doing it, which is having that depress the back of the knife with 2 hands. That sucks. That's, don't get me wrong, great knives, but a little dangerous too using it that way. But yeah, Benchmade actually is one of my favorite. They're made in Oregon. They're one of my favorite knife makers. They make some really cool knives that actually are very high quality. A little on the pricey side, but I mean, one of my knives cost $250 from them. It was a upgraded version of what I had. But otherwise, yeah, it's too bad they didn't have cool knives in here too. If they could make more of it. If they really wanted to make it a survival sim, maybe you'd have to learn how to start a fire with bare essentials, and then a knife would somehow play into it. But let me see here. I better pack some of this shit up. Anyways, this video is about to end here in about, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute. And then I'll go up and prep for the 7th day. So anyway, yeah, that would be cool to find, like switchblades, butterflies in this game, and then have them have their own damage, opening speed, closing speed. I definitely should, give some suggestions. Dang, I got a lot of meat. So overall, I'd have, what, 30, 40 venison? Not bad. Not bad at all. Ooh, I'm gonna need more old couch middles. But, yeah, no, knives would be cool. New guns would be very cool. Like I said, I could go on and on about all the different guns that they could put in here. Even like a survival gun, they had one where it shot both a 22 and a 410. So it was really good for small game. And it also had extra ammo in the buttstock. It was all stainless steel, and they actually gave them to airmen, say if they went down, depending on where they were flying at in the Air Force. And it would fold up, and it was a single shot for each. It was over-under, kind of like a shotgun, but the top barrel was a 22, the bottom barrel was a 410 shotgun, both very small calibers, but effective if you were in a survival situation. And also the bottom barrel could also shoot 45s out of it too, so if you need a heavier hitting bullet, and that would be kind of a cool gun for maybe a starter gun or something for shooting rabbits, or defending yourself with a single shot, like miniature shotgun. Maybe you had slugs for it, or triple-aught buck. But anyway, alright, well, that's the end of this video, and then after this I'm gonna go set up shop. Now, I'll probably take some food with me because I'm probably pretty hungry on this game. And then wait for the 7th day. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. You've been watching Dreads Escape. Bye.